While stories about immigration routinely intersected with Arizona's border, it wasn't the only issue impacting the region. Arizona's economic ties with Mexico and its many border communities also came into focus throughout the year. Ongoing talks to renegotiate the North American Free Trade Agreement, or NAFTA, picked up in January. We explored what was on the line for Arizona and its trade relationship with Mexico.
When it comes to the NAFTA negotiations, really is a federal purview. It is federal government to federal government. Nevertheless, I believe the leadership of people like Governor Ducey and his entire team in putting Arizona in the best position possible.
We haven't taken our foot off the pedal. We continue to go fast at this and go strong because our economy very much depends on that. With you're talking about almost $19 billion in trade between what we do with Canada and what we do with Mexico.
We also saw firsthand at the Mariposa Port of Entry in Nogales how customs officials enforce NAFTA.
This is the document that we use to verify the legitimacy of NAFTA claims, whether they're good qualifiers or not. This is the document that the trade has to use. Those customs consultants, the importing community, the exporters, everybody that touches NAFTA has to understand the contents of this book.
One of NAFTA's original negotiators, former Arizona Representative Jim Colby, discussed the deal's lasting impact and where there was room for improvement.
If you take agriculture, Mexico has become a huge export market for the United States, a huge market. 40% of all of our grain goes to Mexico. If we were to walk away from NAFTA, it would be devastating to our agriculture industry and to Midwestern states.
24 years ago, I mean, should it be renegotiated now? Are there things that could be changed?
Yeah, absolutely. NAFTA does need to be modernized. There were things that didn't exist in those days, digital economy, for example.
Trade fueled Arizona's other endeavors in Mexico. We profiled a program run by the Arizona Department of Transportation designed to speed up commercial traffic at the ports. It included training truckers in Mexico about safety and compliance.
Our bottom line here is to be safe. We want the roads to be safe as those trucks go into Arizona. We also don't want to hold up the trucks any more than we have to.
For the government of Arizona to send their people to teach us, this is a great gesture on how we can live better together between two countries.
We also got a better sense of how issues around border security and international trade intersect with lives of those who call the borderlands home. We heard from ranchers, community leaders, and business owners.
I don't think that we get a very fair representation from the media to Santa Cruz County. I work for the Nogales Chamber of Commerce, and I also represent the Tourism Center. And I can tell you that I feel very safe.
When you talk about Nogales, you should be talking about international trade. You should be talking about billions of dollars worth of commerce. And that is very hard for us to get recognition from the federal government that that's happening in our community. If you just look at our customs staffing, we're at a 30% deficiency in our port of entry.
At the start of summer, with NAFTA's future still in question, we heard from business advocates and companies closely watching negotiations.
Union Pacific Railroad is the only freight railroad with 6 gateways in and out of Mexico, one of those being here in Arizona, at Nogales. You can't help but think about NAFTA and that discussion today. It's something we're paying particular attention to, not just Union Pacific, but I think business at large is paying attention to that.
We now have supply chains that are totally integrated across international borders.
Meanwhile, the governors of Arizona and Sonora fortified the two states' relationship at a summit in Tucson for the Arizona-Mexico Commission.
Well, there's going to be a relationship between Arizona and Sonora regardless of what happens. I'm advocating for a new and improved NAFTA. I'd like to see a NAFTA 2.0.
The truth is, the two of us have been working on this relationship for more than 3 years, but the relations between Sonora and Arizona has more years than the same free trade agreement.
In July, Mexicans elected a new president. Focus then shifted to how promises made during his campaign would impact the border.
Among them is significantly cutting some of the taxes in the border area and also significantly reducing some of the customs, I guess not enforcement, but certainly making it easier for goods to go back and forth, again with the idea being to really promote economic development in that part of the country.
And by late August, President Trump announced the U.S., Mexico, and Canada had reached a deal. We got insight on what the terms of the new pact stipulated.
I think the most significant impacts for Arizona are what was not changed. And that is, as far as I can tell from what we've seen, there are no changes that would disrupt the enormous flow of Mexican fruits and vegetables across the Nogales border.
In late November, the leaders of all three countries signed the U.S. Mexico-Canada agreement, just days before the inauguration of Mexico's president-elect Andrés Manuel López Obrador, whose administration could usher in more economic change in the coming years.
There's definitely, if not a concern, a huge interest to keep a good relationship with Mexico and also to keep growing the commercial ties with it.